Well, you can see the footage of what transpired today. I'm not sure you heard Meddy when he was talking. Meddy was one of those that was under the reign of the tear gas. We'll still hear from him briefly today before he leaves the newsroom. But here in the studio, I have a legal practitioner, Deji Adeyanju, here in the studio. Deji, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's start from this, the call for that inclusion of real time. I mean, the real time transition of electronic results by electronic means.
Yeah.
Is it not a viable call? Let me put it.
Of course, it is a viable call. Only election riggers and manipulators will be afraid of real-time results. If you are not popular, why wouldn't you vote no? You vote no. But if you are very popular and you truly have the mandate of the people, you will definitely vote yes to real time, because that is one of the ways of eradicating rigging and election manipulation of results generally. In the National Assembly, we have seen people's fathers voting no and proudly doing so against the people of Nigeria. The people of Nigeria that have elected you, they have elected you so that you can go and put in legislation. They didn't elect you to go and be lobbying for constituency projects so that you can get a piece of the national cake. They elected you so that you can go to the National Assembly, and promulgate laws that will be, progressive for the development, advancement of electioneering in the country. But alas, the reverse is the case. We have a situation where people have gone to the National Assembly and it now appears as if they've taken an oath against the Nigerian people. They've sworn to an allegiance, a secret allegiance. Yes, a secret allegiance with the enemies of Nigeria to vote against the people of Nigeria. It's very, very unfortunate. I had said humorously via a tweet that some people had approached me and said that I should come and join them in electoral reform advocacy and protest. And I said, no, I cannot do that when someone like Akpabio is the Senate president. When you have characters who should be attending to animals in the zoo, leading the country, I will not, because it means I'm making a mockery of myself. Because I already know the eventual outcome from the beginning when this campaign started. Because how do I convince myself that I am agitating for Akpabio to make the right call? He would definitely not make the right call, and I've not been proven wrong at all by the outcome of today's proceedings.
There was a question someone asked me today. I mean, yesterday at the EFCC headquarters, there was a rain of tear gas, and someone asked me the same question today. So I'll bring that question back to you. But let's just hear from Meddy, who was there, a bit of what he went through. Meddy, I understand we can hear you now. So just tell us what was it like? What transpired in front of the National Assembly today?
We're actually having a very peaceful protest. Like you can see, I still have my glasses on because my eyes are still, not so good. We're actually having a very peaceful protest. Before these armed men came, they were just shooting tear gas. They even shot at my car. It was that bad. Then everybody started running. It was very, very peaceful, because while we're having this protest, we moved closely to the gate because a lot of people were passing and our voice was not being heard. We heard they were doing a lot of stuff in there and it was not going the way we planned it. And that tear gas started coming and we ran away and we came back because some persons were arrested. And we came back to actually free those persons from the police because they were about taking them away. And my car also was towed from that venue. Well, we actually went back to get my car back. It was actually a very peaceful protest. But what we didn't understand was when they called, they called their people, they came, a lot of policemen came, like about 6 to 7 vans came and they started shooting tear gas on the peaceful protesters. We're not with even knife, we're not with knife, nothing, not even with catapult, yes. But they came and they started shooting tear gas, different tear gas, and they were even threatening to shoot, but we could stand and we're not moving, and they just have to. But there was something I saw from these policemen. They were actually agreeing to what we're doing, but I think there were orders coming in that shoot, just shoot tear gas, scare them away. And I could see them receiving those orders because they were making calls.
But you guys have said that you'll be back there again tomorrow, as in the your demands have not been met. So you're
No,
not stopping
right
the
now, it's not just about the National Assembly. Right now, we're planning to go nationwide. It's not just about the National Assembly, but we'll go nationwide, just like the NSAS, but we'll go nationwide, definitely.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you,
you.
Meddy, and we wish you well.
Thank you.
Meddy Olotu is a human rights activist. But Deji, you have, before you became a lawyer, I mean, knowing you the first time I met you was as a rights activist. So let's start from here. Someone asked me a question yesterday and today. He said, is there a law or is there a guidance to the use of tear gas? Because yesterday in front of the EFCC, a peaceful protest, a peaceful gathering, tear gas was used to disperse them. Today again, tear gas was used to disperse Nigerians who had come to demand a certain amendment to a law. I mean, is there a law to the use of tear gas?
You see, basically, it is very ironic that when we had a group protesting that they are in support of the evil that the National Assembly is doing, they were not tear gassed. There was a group, a pro-manual transmission of result. They had a protest. They were not tear gassed. There was a pro-government protest at the EFCC. They were not tear gassed. But the anti-government one were tear gas. The anti-manual transmission were tear gas at the National Assembly. And protest is a fundamental human right. Protest is not a crime. I don't understand where they resort to use of force. As long as the people are not being violent, are not taking the laws into their hand, and there's a procedure under our laws that a protest can move from protest to riot. And there are procedures laid down under our extant laws for a protest to move from protest to riot. And every step must be taken. An officer must make specific announcement dispersing the protest. When the repeated announcements have been made as laid down under the law, and the protesters have become rowdy, have taken laws into their hands, they are damaging public property, then sequel to that, the officer of the law cannot make the pronouncement that this protest is no longer peaceful, and that by the virtue of the law that he's hereby dismissing the protest. So he makes the announcement. Then when the announcement has been made repeatedly and over again, and they refuse to disperse, then minimal force may now be used. And what is minimal force? Minimal force can be understood to be maybe water cannon. You can use water cannon to disperse the crowd. But why using tear gas? Why using live ammunition? The protesters are not taking up arms. We have not seen any evidence, empirical or otherwise, suggesting that the protesters have taken up arms, or attacking security agencies, or attacking other Nigerians, or even disrupting vehicular movement, or damaging public property or private property. So these are the grounds. Our laws have provided grounds for which a protest can move from a protest to a riot.
So
the only condition or ground for use of force is when a protest moves from protest to riot. If it has not become a riot, even when it has become a riot, you can still not apply force. There are condition precedent that you must.
So in this case now, who would hold the police accountable for this deployment?
The reason why this lawlessness we protested for Electoral Act Amendment in 2011. I was on the street. We protested for Electoral Amendment in 2015. In 2019, the only reason we started protesting before I was arrested and locked up by the Buhari regime, and they did not allow me to even vote in that election. The only reason why I'm not protesting now is because the likes of Akpabio of this world are in charge of National Assembly. I cannot in all good conscience go to the street to go and be protesting and asking Akpabio to do the right thing when I know for a fact, except if I just want to play to the gallery, when I know for the fact that Akpabio does not have the character of person to do the right thing. This current National Assembly, the unallowed National Assembly was a rubber stamp. This current National Assembly is worse than a rubber stamp. These are political bandits. These are political bandits. They should not be in the National Assembly.
You're using very strong statements.
Of course.
You're taking responsibility.
I take full responsibility for calling the current National Assembly that we have in Nigeria political bandits. They do not have the interest of the Nigerian people at heart, and they do not have the capacity to do the right thing. And I will not be a fool to go on the street to go and say, I want to demand for them to do the right thing, because they will not do the right thing.
Deji Adeyanju, a legal practitioner and human rights activist, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you.
We look forward to having more
it's
of you in
always
our
a pleasure.
studio.
Fireworks
Well
with
done.
me anytime you call.